Good evening, everybody. It's TCH Live. We're back at it once again. It's Saturday night. And you know what that means? It's the final table of our $365 buy-in, unlimited re-entry, 20K guaranteed. My name is Ben Kirby. I'm joined by my esteemed commentator, Greg Potter. What's up, Greg?
How you doing, Ben? Hanging in there on Saturday?
Absolutely. Happy to be back here, and we're getting right into the action with Mark in with Pocket Kings under the gun. We started with 193 entrants, $57,900 in the prize pool, and we've got somewhat of a hand developing right
Oh
off the
my
jump.
God, already. Right from the get-go, we've got Kings betting under the gun, getting 3-bet by Pocket Jacks in the hijack. Nothing wrong. Oh my God. And J-Lo immediately picks up Ace King suited. What
Let's
is
go.
happening already? Yeah, it's like, and he's going to ship it in there.
And you don't blame him for shipping it in there?
Yeah, no reason to do anything else. Honestly, this hand is played out entirely as expected. Jacks could probably find a relatively easy fold here a lot of the time.
Especially
Facing this much action.
Quick call from Mark M as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. He no hesitation whatsoever. And Stranavis at best, he's going to be flipping against two opponents, which may be somewhat good of both. Ideally, if both of his opponents hold Ace King,
he just calls.
But he does, in fact, go for the call. And first hand at the final table
of
this 10.
If he gets lucky, he could potentially eliminate two players.
Two players, yeah. If he spikes a jack, then two people are going home already and laddering up just that quickly.
J-Lo, Mark M, and Srinivas are. If somebody phonetically could spell that out for me, that'd be appreciated.
Oh yeah, I know. I didn't. I elected not to take a stab at that name.
I really wanted to try,
but yeah, what a hand we've already got going. First hand in the final table. It's insane.
It is insane. Like I said, we almost tripled the guarantee. It's a 20K guarantee, and was 57,900 in the prize pool. First place taking home $15,393. All these players already guaranteed 1,300.
Yeah, this tournament just gets bigger every week. Last week we had 89 or 189 entrants, and this week we got up to 193. So every week it just keeps getting slightly bigger. And it's great to see for something like a weekly tournament like this.
That's right, almost 200 people.
Yep. Runout's going to go ahead and give Mark here just an absolutely gigantic stack. What a way to start off the final table. Waking up with Kings. They hold up against two opponents. What more could you ask for when you make the final table of a all-day tournament like this?
1.2 million chip pot. Huge for Mark M. And the hand basically played itself, all three hands. The pocket jacks, maybe in hindsight, you can get away from. But, I think given that we don't know a ton of the table dynamics right now, maybe there was something else at play. But, or, some people like to gamble, and the prospect of eliminating two players and laddering up might have, tipped the scales for him there.
Yeah, there's a lot of incentive to maybe get it in a little bit lighter sometimes in the hopes or the prospects of laddering up and eliminating players. That's called ICM pressure. And I don't know if that situation specifically applied, just because when especially when you're facing like a none of the gun raise, you 3-bet, a 4-bet jam, and then a 4-bet flat call.
Right.
That's a pretty strong line to take. There's really not a lot that you beat there with pocket jacks, unfortunately, though it is very difficult to let it go. I don't blame Novice at all for getting in there with the jacks. Still very strong holding. And it's hard to believe at the final table, the very first hand, everybody's just waking up with ultra premium. So
that's right.
Oh, wow.
He's gonna win some of the chips back, picking up Ace Queen suited back to back there.
Yeah. I'm surprised we saw King Jack fold.
Yeah, and
he bets
folded King Jack in the big blind.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I guess considering that he was betting such a high percentage of his stack, it's a fine fold. Maybe if it was suited, it probably would have tilted him a little more towards the call. But I think he's happy to take down a $1.2 million pot and move on.
That's right.
Slowly letting someone else take the variance and maybe knock out another player.
That's right. So J-Lo is going to be eliminated in 9th place. He took home $1,353. The rest of this table is guaranteed $1,707. And Srinivas, I know I'm probably butchering this, another very playable hand Under the
He's
gun plus
waking up.
2. King, queen off.
Waking up with all the premiums here.
Raising it to 75. Pretty large portion of his stack. Mars here on the cutoff with ace-9 off. I've played with Mars a lot, actually, and he's a pretty good player from what I can remember. In the cash streets, I haven't played with tournaments, but he's put some pressure on me in the past.
Sure. Yeah, no, he's definitely capable. I've seen plenty of hands both on the felt and from the box for Mars there. I think his full name is Mauricio.
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
he's definitely capable of getting it in there and putting some pressure on you.
So Jamie T on the button is going to call with 10-9 suited. He's got 1.5 million in chips behind, trying to get an easy elimination here. If he can hit the right flop, it might well be easy for him. We'll see. 6-5-4, 1 diamond.
Pretty whiff flop for both players. Not surprised at all to see that go check. I think this is going to be a case of you bet you win. However, check all the way around. King Queen still has plenty of showdown versus a button flat call. Jamie, however, not snap checking back. He knows he can't win with just 10 high. He has a lot of very relevant blockers to the board, so he does take a half pot stab at it. Something he may do with a river to 8s or even a 5 after the board pairs. So not unreasonable at all for Srinivas to go ahead and let the king high go despite having the check mark in that spot. Oh, he shows it. Oh, he shows it for the extra
so
needle.
Obvious too. Like even if you don't see the cards, it's like it was such a strange story to tell, checking all the way to the river.
Right.
But Srinivas just did not have the chips to look him up with king high.
Yeah, and it's also you feel like a goof if you call with king high and then he shows you ace 4 or ace deuce offsuit or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, all right, you were bluffing, but I did not have a proper bluff catcher. So yeah, no fault for Srinivas there folding on the river by any means. Better to go for chip preservation in a spot like that one when you're starting to get so short.
That's right. And good evening again to everybody tuning in on their Saturday night. Happy early Father's Day to all the fathers. I know I'm going to leverage my first Father's Day.
Oh my gosh, your first one.
Tomorrow. I'm sure I will, I don't know, do the same thing we always do on the weekends. I don't know, sit around, watch the tube. 153 of you watching on your Saturday night. 15 likes. We would love if you smash that like button for us tonight. If you like tournament poker. And back at it again, seat number 8, Srinivas, shoving queen 10 suited under the gun +1.
Wow, and Dave with the reshove.
The reshove, 850K.
I like the
stack.
reshove. I like the reshove.
And Charles R. had actually opened ace 4 suited under the gun, and he's going to most likely have to get out of there unless he just wants to gamble. He doesn't have a ton of chips.
He's a very short stack, but I do like his decision to still fold. There's a lot of ICM implications in play here. He does not need to get his money in there right now when there's no need to. He can still ladder up whether he folds or calls as long as Dave fades basically a 10 exactly. So
pretty bad shape here.
Pretty bad shape.
Srinivas. But he still has some equity. 30% of the time he's supposed to win. Club there in the door will give him some backdoor outs. The jack gives him a straight draw.
Gives him a 9. Gutter ball to the 9.
10 or a 9. And he
no help.
No help indeed. 550,000 chip pot headed over to Dave, and
already
Srinivas is going to be eliminated in 8th place. He is going to take home $1,707.
Pretty rough final table run there. Just right when you sit down in the first 3 hands you play, your entire stack's gone, even though you spent the entire day building it up to, I think he started with like 800,000. So it's
sheesh. I mean, he had all that slew of playable hands. He didn't fold a hand since starting the final table.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe looking back, the pocket jack's hand you might maybe get away from, but hindsight is 2020. GG's.
Always crystal clear, isn't it?
That's right.
Especially at the poker table.
Yeah. Especially in front of a bunch of announcers and chat pros that get to see all the cards.
Yep.
Cameras.
Exactly.
So we're down to 7, $2,187 guaranteed for the rest of these players. A pretty nice payday already for a $365 buy-in.
Yeah, we also changed the structure of this tournament. I believe we officially changed it last week, where it used to be a single reentry, and
Yep.
now it is a unlimited reentry tournament, which I think helped pump up the payouts a little bit, which is awesome. Um, Ooh, here we go. Texas Sports Cards going to ship it in with the Jack 9 suited in the small blind. I really like the play here in the small blind. Whenever you only have to get through one person, you can start shoving pretty liberally.
Yeah.
And unless your opponent wakes up with something relatively strong, like a good suited ace, pretty hard for them to call just about anything. So I like the steal there. That definitely qualifies.
Pretty standard. Yeah. Goofy 2485 says, "Get him, Charles, one of the nicest people in the room." Hey, I
Charles
like that.
is a nice guy. Yeah, I've dealt to him quite a bit. 1-2 player for the most part here, I believe. And
Hey, let's get him a big run tonight then.
yeah,
$15,000 up top is a pretty nice score for a regular 1-2 player. And,
that's
you know, you
a
root for the
pretty good
nice
score.
guys. You root for
Yeah,
the nice guys for sure. So Mars here under the gun. Pretty deliberate player. Probably going to take a second or two each hand. Jamie T looks like he's going to make it 50 with ace-9 off.
yeah, 6-4 suited, not going to cut it when you're this short. Charles here, 10-9 offsuit, very, very short stacked. However, he's not waking up with just about anything to call just yet. Dave here in the big blind, very playable hand, exact same hand that Jamie is raising with, in fact. Does elect to come along in the blinds. No, nothing too crazy there.
These
They're
two
both
stacks are going to
very,
want to play.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I took your thunder. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. They're both very, very deep in this instance, and they all both have a lot of playability. An ace on the flop there, gonna pretty much give this a pure chop. Neither player has any redraw. It just depends on who's willing to hold up to the heat.
You're going to have to tread lightly, though, because
Oh yeah,
both have pretty equal sized stacks, and neither wants to be crippled by the other.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's always you always get a little bit of nerves whenever you start to go up against another stack that can actually bust yours. You don't mind maybe duking out a little bit with a stack that you can put a lot of pressure on, like a smaller stack, where if they miss the flop at all, even a little bit, basically anything less than like top pair, then they have to fold. But oh wow, there we go. What a good call there on the end. Honestly, it's pretty hard to make that call. Your kicker's not
Yeah.
amazing there with the 9, and there's so much out there already. There's like a flush and a straight, etc. That's actually a pretty solid call there on the end for the chop.
For sure. My guy
So I
Adam
like
in
that.
the box there, a really good dealer in his own right,
Oh
dealing
yeah,
for the tournament tonight. He's one of the guys that can deal all the games, which I'm very impressed with. JT in 1968 says, "Dad talking, very important question. When does the mixed game start on Thursdays? And did you con dealer talking and other off-duty dealers to play too?" It actually hasn't run the past couple weeks. I don't know if it's.
yeah.
I think it.
It's been pretty thin to find the player pool for it. We've been
I
really
think everybody's
busy
been
here.
working hard. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody's
say
like had to actually deal.
yeah, most of it, because most of the player pool for that game is dealers. Like Adam plays in that game, the dealer in the box right now. Our GMs play in that game, and we've just been busy, so it has not run, unfortunately, and we haven't seen some of the other players that were regulars here for a while. A guy named John hasn't been around for quite a while,
I mean, I
and
admittedly I was one of those as well. Like
right.
each time somebody isn't able to play, that kind of reduces the likelihood that it actually runs because it's such a unique structure.
Jamie T here under the gun. Ace Jack, very natural open here in such a deep stack position. I think if you do face a rejam from one of the middler size stacks, it's okay to fold it. But I do like the decision to go ahead and open, and he's going to take it down with no resistance here and pick up some more blind. Shows it, says, I'm not bluffing, guys. I actually had something.
I don't think he's too worried about showing hands. I think he's
No.
here for the friendlies. I mean, it also helps to be on top with almost 2 million in chips.
Oh,
You
yeah.
feel
He's
kind of confident.
light years ahead of most of the other stacks here. Most of the chips are between two players right now. So the small stacks kind of have to tread pretty lightly and just wait for their spot to get it in.
That's right. Yeah, it's always a good feeling to start the final table as a chip leader and continue to be able to dominate. And, you know, you can reasonably wait for some of these really small stacks to get eliminated, and it's almost like seems like free money.
Yeah, pretty much. Most the most, or excuse me, the stacks that have the most pressure on them are the middling stacks, the ones that have the potential to ladder up. And if they do bust, they're usually doubling someone up to the point where now they have a very playable stack. So they're the ones least looking to get it in. Small stacks want to get it in as often as possible, the majority of the time, to try and double up and ladder or and improve their standing on the table. Otherwise, they're just going to blind out. But these big stacks can just sit there and wait and wait and wait until everybody else starts to dwindle. And the blinds will do their job.
You can see Charles there with 4 big blinds. I mean, it's going to have to be this hand or the next hand, maybe, until the blind. I mean, technically, he's got 3 hands until he reaches the blinds. But once he reaches the blinds, he's going to be forced to be all in.
Pretty much.
And the rest of the table knows that. And the next closest player to him has 12 big blinds, which isn't a lot of. I mean, it's basically a push-fold stack in itself, too.
Pretty much, yeah. JT and 9068 going to be playing the Tuesday Bounty Tournament. Oh, sweet, man. We just moved the guarantee up on that as well. And it used to be I think just a $50 bounty. And now it is a black chip bounty. So anytime you knock out a player, you get $100. So that's pretty awesome. Nardi here under the gun, shipping it with ace queen with a short stack. Nothing to see there, really. Pretty standard thus far. I think he's fine either way. If he picks up the blinds, can survive one more orbits, or does get a crying call.
Charles folded the A7 suited there with only 95,000 behind. He might have the stack size where you kind of have to go with any 2.
I mean, he's getting there, but I mean, the thing is when you're facing an under the gun jam like that, A7 suited is going to be behind a lot. I don't really blame him for folding it in that spot exactly.
Sure.
And then maybe trying to pick up 2 more hands. You're already the shortest stack at the table. You may as well especially once a 265 stack like that jams. There were a few stacks that were about that same size. Actually, none behind him. So yeah, it could have gone either way, I think.
Ooh,
oh wow, Texas Sports Cards waking up with 2 kings.
The red Dallas, and he's just gonna limp. No, he's gonna make it 50.
Yeah, I think he min clicks this one, which I like a lot. He definitely doesn't have a stack that's willing to get it in for that many big blinds just yet. For about 25 big blinds. So I do like the min click here. Give the short stacks behind an opportunity to jam over him. That way he can very confidently call off way ahead. And Charles does, in fact, ship it with the King Jack offsuit. I think this is...
All the kings are out there.
Yep, all the kings are out there and gone. Unbeknownst to them. It's this is a pretty unfortunate spot for Mr. Charles. He's drawing to runner jacks or a straight at this point.
So Charles R's tournament life at stake. King Jack off versus pocket kings. He's dead to a jack, pretty much, or a straight.
Yep.
Which is literally what you just said.
Yep.
But he's going to need a semi-miracle to stay in this tournament.
Well, he's got one card. Got one of them.
He needs perfect on the turn. And
that ain't the one. Yep. Unfortunately, that is going to be it for Mr. Charles. Congrats on making it to the final table, bud. Sorry you couldn't run a little deeper here at the final stage of our Saturday tournament.
For his efforts, Charles is going to take home $2,187 US, and we are down to 6. We're playing 6 max poker. Everyone's guaranteed $2,845 for their efforts. So the money is getting serious, and the eliminations are being very expeditious. So we shall see if it slows down or not, but I like the pace that we're at.
Yep, we're moving through it pretty quick. Already 3 people down, but we did have some pretty short stacks. I think we're going to start seeing the bit of a long game turn up here with everybody chipping up a little bit as shorter stacks get eliminated and chips get distributed a little more evenly around the table.
For sure. We're playing a 10K, 20K with a 20K big blind ante. Basically, when you're in the big blind, you pay your big blind and you also pay 20,000 chips worth of antes for the entire table, and that just speeds up the game a bit.
Yep. Yeah, that way we don't have to keep small chips on the table, and it all works out the same in the long run, even if it may not feel like it. those few
Right.
times that you sit in a short stack in the big blind and now you're very short stacked. Oh, wow. Dave flopping gigantic here. Top two pair. Mark M, however, nothing really to pay him off with, unfortunately for Dave, but I'm sure he's happy to take this one down with a sizable bet here, 120,000. Pretty big bets, but since the board is so draw heavy, I really don't mind it at all. Takes it down right then and there, and he's going to chip up even more.
10s and 9s for Dave. Mark, unfortunately, I mean, he just basically had backdoor hearts. That was it, and it was just too expensive.
Yep, I think so.
Basically had equal size stacks. And on to the next one, our guy Adam quickly getting to the next hand. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday night. Aubrey Bruce says, hey, guys. Hey,
what's up, Aubrey? Bruce. Nice to see you here.
Thanks for being here. Thank you to all 257 of you watching, or 261 of you watching.
Yeah, going up.
9 p.m. Central Time on your Saturday night. It's Ben and Greg with you as always, and this is the $365 buy-in, unlimited re-entry, 20K guarantee, but we smashed that guarantee and tripled it, 60K.
We destroyed that guarantee, as we have done pretty much since day one for this tournament, which just as a testament to how many people love to come to TCH and how good the action therein follows as a result. So
that's right. 193 entrants for this tournament, ponying up $365 US, and first place is going to take home more than 15,000.
Yeah, that's quite a score for a weekly Saturday tournament.
That's right. You know, they've been playing since 11 a.m. today, so about 10 hours. And they'll be playing for a couple more hours, and somebody's going to take home $15,000 for that effort, which is a pretty nice prospect.
That's a pretty good day's work, you know, a solid 12 hours. That's that's like $1,000 an hour. I'd say that's a good day.
That's almost as much as I get paid to do this.
Yeah. You're getting paid to do this?
No, this is more a charity thing I do.
Yeah, love it.
Jamie T looks like he's going to raise it with Jack 7 of clubs under the gun.
Yeah, when you're a big stack like this, you can pretty liberally open it up, especially with short stacks behind you, and you also don't risk all that much, nor give the short stacks too much whenever they do shove over you and you fold something like Jack 7 suited. But a lot of the time, they're just going to fold if they have nothing to respond with. And you just get to take down the blinds, chip up even further, and take away a lot of opportunity from those shorter stacks as well.
8-7-4-2 hearts here between Mars and Jamie T. Mars defended with ace high. Jamie T is going to continue with his second pair.
Yep, pretty hard to make a pair in this game, especially in a final tournament table scenario. So I really don't blame Jamie for betting the 7 a little bit here. Doesn't really hit his opening range too often, but it's definitely a hand that needs a little bit of protection. You find out where you're at pretty quick. And if they have nothing or an ace high type hand, you deny a lot of equity and take it down right now. So
very coordinated board. You know, Mars didn't have the stack that he could. You can't float many flops there with his stack size and end up being incorrect. You know, you have to either be perfect or not float those flops. And so Jamie took the opportunity there to bet. I mean, I'm sure he's happy getting it through there with second pair.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think that he is unhappy by that result whatsoever. Already here, suited wheel ace in the hijack. He's sitting about 10 big blinds deep. This is probably good enough for a jam, and he elects to do just that. Ships it in for 255,000. Not a bad result if you get the blinds or a double up. Yeah, or the walk. I don't think a hand like ace-4 suited is all that unhappy to not have to stack off. You get to see just that many more hands, that many more opportunities to double up in a better position.
Tournaments, a big part of tournaments are survival, and that's what you accomplish by making those jams. I think most people in that position would do the same, and you get to live to fight another day. Some tournaments you just get called by aces, and your ace-4 is just destroyed.
Yep.
But good on him for shoving there with his stack size. Everything got it through.
Yeah, he gets to survive one more round of blinds, which really means everything at these final tables. Dave here waking up ace queen offsuit in the cutoff. I think has a very natural open, as he's been doing thus far with quite a few hands, going for a larger size than we've seen in the past. So
5x here to 100.
yeah, a little bit of a sizing tell to those who may be paying close attention. However, he's just trying to get the maximum there for a premium holding while he's in position. Unfortunately, gets no love for it. But once again, I'm sure they're just happy to take down the blinds.
Yeah, ace queen is one of those hands in tournaments that can really screw you. You know, if you make it to the post flop and you don't play, you get yourself in positions that might be confusing, or you're unsure about what's the optimal play. Ace queen can oftentimes get pretty expensive.
Sure can.
So I'm sure he's fine taking it down pre-flop.
Yeah, especially if it comes something like ace 5-7, where it's like you have top pair, but your opponent's going to hold a lot of 2-pair holdings, a lot of straight type draws, etc., that you're very vulnerable against.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely not the worst result. I think if you do play with ace queen, you're kind of just looking to see 5 cards and hopefully get it in. But so deep stacked, no fault at all for just taking down the blinds and being happy with it.
Dave opened king queen to 100, and Mark M with the best hand in the game, pocket sevens in the 100%. Small blind.
Makes a very natural call. Wouldn't even be crazy to go for the shove here, but I think stack depths are just a little too deep. The problem with pocket sevens is that you face runouts like this one where your hand is very not playable post flop, where you can have an underpair to the board, you can have a middling second pair type hand like he does in this instance.
Down bet here from Dave, 65K.
Yeah, I really like the down bet.
This might actually
he's gonna
get a call.
And this call is not unreasonable by any means. Are we about to see a raise here? We see a raise. It looks like a min click from Mr. Mark here saying, you better wake up with a king or nothing, my guy. Dave, kind of loving life right now. This is an interesting line for anyone to take on a board this dry.
So Dave's just going to call here, maybe roping Mark M in. He can't imagine Dave has, a set here often.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of a set. Speaking of a set.
A 2-outer for Mark. He check min clicks Dave and gets rewarded on the turn.
Oh my gosh. I think Dave's going to lose a pretty hefty chunk of his stack here.
Dave has no reason to think that Mark M, the 7, helps him off.
Oh, yeah. Not at all. This card normally changes absolutely nothing about the board texture. It brings in some straights, but it's like pretty it's pretty inconsequential for the most part. I don't see reason for Mark to do anything else except for ship it here, but he might try and go for a little bit more thin value against a king, given that the ace hit the river.
Dave hates to see this ace on the river. It's going to make him really think about it, especially with a guy with half of his stack betting into him the whole way.
Yeah, it is unfortunate the ace on the river. That may be the card that saves Dave's stack here a little bit. As maybe Mark was capable of doing this with something like ace 5 suited hearts. It's unsure. He shouldn't have an ace all that often, but despite that, with the ace rolling off, this is a pretty strong line to be taking, betting into Dave here on the end.
Miracle turn card here for Mark M, just praying that Dave calls or ships it. Dave doesn't look like he's thinking about anything other than a call or a fold. His body language is not communicating that he's interested in doing anything else other than those two things.
Yeah, I agree. Man, what a rough spot to be in here.
And now, what do you beat, really?
Nothing. You really don't beat much.
Pocket tens that are turning it into a bluff on the river.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, given that Mark flatted out of the small blind, wow, good fold there by Dave. Yeah, I think Mark's going to have a lot of middling small pocket pairs, which we just saw, which all now have sets. The only one that doesn't is pocket fives. I think that's the only type of bluff hand that could even potentially exist
Yeah, because
is
you turn it
exactly
open-ender.
pocket fives.
Yeah.
But that is about it. And I don't even think that would check raise the flop. So Mark definitely got some run good there. Drilled a set on the turn. I think if that 7 didn't come in, it would have gone check, check,
Sure.
check, check all the way to the river. So
you got to run
definitely
good to win tournaments sometimes.
you
or
certainly
oftentimes.
do.
Nice hand to him. It feels really good to hit a 2-outer every once in a while. That's what keeps you coming back to the game. Mars here with ace-7 off in the hijack. And that's just going to be an open fold for him and Jamie T with all the chips, or a lot of chips in the cutoff. Jack-10 off.
Pretty much got all the chips. Mark M now with a very playable stack.
On his left, too, which Jamie T doesn't love.
No, not at all. Takes the sports cards in the big blind here. 9-7 offsuits. I think if this hand was suited, a flat call in the blinds wouldn't be crazy. But given that the stack is kind of short, oh wow, he puts in the 3-bets. I really like a 3-bet here. If you're going to play the 9-7 offsuit, it definitely works better taking the aggressive line. Jamie, maybe Texas Sport Cards knows that Jamie T is going to be opening up a little bit lighter, putting pressure on the short stacks.
Just straight calls.
Oh, wow. And Jamie T is not even remotely deterred.
Now, what do you do if you're Texas Sport Cards? You have
you're sweating.
Yeah, you have $500,000 in chips. There's $300K in the pot already, and you have 9-7 off.
Oh,
Queen
wow.
10-3. So second pair here for Jamie T, and just absolutely nothing for Texas Sports Cards.
Yeah, nothing at all except backdoor straight draw and a dream.
So now he's going to down bet probably 1/3 or so. It looks like maybe that's 85. Oh, 110.
110. Yeah. And I don't fall to the continuation here. I mean, you do have total air, but this board is going to hit your range a lot more of the time given the 3-bet. And oh my gosh, are we going to see a raise with second pair? What are we watching right now? This is insane. Jamie, I think, knows exactly where he's at, says, wake up with it or fold, sir. And Texas Sport Cards going to take a bit of a hit on his stack there, trying to make a move with the 9-7 offsuit.
You don't blame him. It's good heart, good understanding of the situation. Jamie T didn't have that great of a hand. He had good position and had a playable hand, but good heart from Texas Sports Cards there. But also, it wasn't a min click. I said it was a min click earlier, but Jamie T did not min click. He made it to 270, and analyzed the situation correctly and basically made the right move to get, I don't know. I mean, maybe technically being results oriented, the correct move is to call and let Texas Sport Cards bet one more time, but he also needed to protect his second pair a bit.
I think that was mainly what his reasoning was, is he basically is saying sports cards, you need to wake up with a queen or just fold. And sports cards gonna have a lot of ace king there, get a lot of ace jack, a lot of ace x hands that whiff the board that Jamie did not want to give a free card to by any means, or a relatively cheap card. So he decided to take the betting lead and find out right where he was at with his second pair. Mars getting no love here for the pocket tens, unfortunately, but I'm sure just happy to pick up the blinds as always.
Mark M folded king jack off in the cutoff. He's got almost $1.5 million in chips. I'm surprised that he so quickly folded. I mean, maybe he's got a strategy, but oftentimes you see players call on that spot.
Yeah, I think suited it'd be just fine as a flat call, but facing under the gun raise, you can't really. I mean, stacks are so short that I mean, I guess between Mars, who's got a relatively deep stack, he probably didn't want to stack off with something like just top pair.
Yeah.
So I don't fault the fold there at all. Go for a little bit more chip preservation. See two more cards, another orbits, hopefully.
Jamie T here with ace-8, dead man's hand under the gun. He makes it 30, or he just limps for 30. Mark M with a real hand, ace jack off in the hijack.
Coming along for a limp as well. I think limp game is starting to become more of the meta here at final tables.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. However, given that there are so many short stacks available, you don't really want to let them see cheap flops the majority of the time. I mean, I say that, but three of the larger stacks are limping in and doing a little bit of battling here. So it's not crazy to see that develop as the big blind stacks get lower and lower.
So Jamie T is going to get out of the way, understandably, with the ace-8 off, but Mark M is going to complete ace-jack off in the hijack.
Yep.
Heads up here between Mars and Mark M. 3, 4, 7. One club. Mars here, 2 overs and backdoor flush draw. And Mark M just with 2 overs.
Yeah, very dry board texture for the most part. Really shouldn't. I mean, honestly, I think it would typically hit Mark M's limp calling range a lot more, but it's pretty unlikely that Mark M at a final table scenario is going to be even limp calling with something like 7-8 suited, or 5-6 suited. Like it's so unlikely. You're just going to see so many hands that all have like big Broadway cards that I really like Mars's decision to go ahead and take a stab at it now, deny equity to ace X holdings, and just take down that small pot with a little bit of raw aggression.
Yeah, nice pot there for Mars. I think that might take him over the million chip mark.
I think so.
With his big blind 3-bet there and post flop aggression. That's what it takes. If you can't get cards, it takes some aggression, and he got it done. Down to 6 on our final table. Who will be next? The pace has slowed a bit now that the super small stacks are out. But Nardi here with not a ton of chips relative to the blinds. Nor does Texas Sport Cards after kind of a failed bluff attempt.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't have faulted either player, given that they are so short, just ripping it there with either of their holdings. Better to definitely be the aggressor in those spots rather than limp call for your stack, as your perceived range is going to be a lot stronger than your exact holding might indicate. Dave limping on the button, trying to see a cheap flop, and 2 pocket pairs behind, going absolutely nowhere. Dave actually kind of priced in here a little bit. I don't recommend often limping on the button.
Yeah.
You definitely want to be the aggressor in that scenario. Try and just take down the blinds immediately with all of the holdings that the players may have behind that are relatively weak.
Pocket 8s versus pocket 6s here.
I'm thinking 6s flopped a set. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
They did.
Oh, Jamie T.
Yep.
Running pure.
Running pure right now.
You want to see just a smooth call here from Jamie T.
Oh, yeah. The vast majority of the time.
Player like Mars.
The vast majority of the time, you should just flat call here. There's really not a case for raising too often. Given that there's straight draws available, but the board is like so dry, and you really want to keep an ace in and nice and comfy, confident that they have the best hand and betting the turn. 8 on the turn.
8 on the turn for Mars, so Mars gets his own 2-outer.
Oh my God! And now that the board is draw heavy, there's heart draws available. A straight
Mars
draw
is about
came
to
in.
double up here.
Yeah, I think Jamie. This is not crazy for Jamie to just ship it for the rest of Mars's stack here, trying to put as much pressure on an ace as possible, hopefully getting a crying call before he sees the river and the board gets any more scary. So I would actually really love to see a jam here, and I think he does. In fact, I thought he said all in.
He's putting on a show a bit, but he's going to get some bad news.
He's Hollywooding
Mars.
Right now.
Mars is doing everything he can to contain himself right now, because I think he probably knows Jamie T might be doing exactly this.
All in. There it is.
I'm gonna put you all in.
Ships it. Ships it. Mars not snapping.
Interesting.
I am very surprised to not see a snap call here, but he does. Delayed snap call.
Delayed snap call. Yeah. I guess trying to be deliberate, thinking about Jamie T is
Jamie
deflated.
T. You can see the pain on his face.
And
there
you don't
goes
blame him. 2.3 million chip pot.
Half of his stack is now gone. Don't blame either player for playing it as is thus far. It's pretty unfortunate.
Brutal.
We have seen a lot of turn sets on this final table.
Yeah, I mean, 2 is plenty. I mean, it is very hard to turn a 2-outer, and it's happened within 5 hands of each other twice.
Yep. Man, Jamie drawing to exactly the case 6 Does not get. I really thought it was the 6 for a minute. It
Pretty
looked like it
close.
was. I was like, oh my god, are we about to see absolute sickening card on the river? But nope, both players fill up. Unfortunately,
So
Mars
Mars is
there.
stoked there. 2.3 million chip pot and the chip lead after turning pure with a set of 8s. Man, I mean, that's a cooler for Jamie. Just flops the most hidden set ever and just gets really coolered on the turn.
Yep. Yeah. Nothing there. Unfortunately, the deck is just kind of against you in that spot. Jamie going from first down to a very vulnerable middling stack. You really hate going into the final table as the chip lead and then getting chipped down.
Nardi, you hate to see the 7 deuce when you're facing the blinds and antes the next hand, but you just can't do it there.
Nope. 7 deuce under the gun, not going to get it done. And it is unfortunate whenever the blinds are slowly, steadily creeping up on you. So Mars now the chip leader by a mile.
I'm interested, about Mars' pace there. He did take a second to call, and I just can't fathom anyone not just like immediately calling.
Yeah, no, it was definitely interesting. Maybe it might have just been shock. Honestly,
like, is my life really going this well right now?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes when you're running that good at the poker table, it's just like, is this real life right now? Is like, is
just trying to savor the moment, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Golly, yeah, what a cooler to be on the receiving end of that set over set situation. So Nardi here is going to be very low stacked here in the blinds and paying the antes here. So he's wishing for a miracle. Hand 22, we're down to 6. We started with 193. Everybody's guaranteed over $2,000 right now. $15,000 up top for TCH Live. Yeah, $2,845 for 6th place.
Jamie T on the button. Going to raise it up here. I was going to say maybe with his larger stack, he would choose to raise and put pressure on the blinds, but his medium stack does not deter him even for a moment. Still got a roughly playable stack, and you definitely want to still put pressure on the blinds, especially someone's stack like Nardi, who is pretty much in shove or fold mode. You can open up the button pretty liberally and just take down the blinds while the short stacks are handcuffed to the runouts. So
That's right. Jamie T actually shows the 8-5 suited. You got to be careful when you lose a big pot like that to make sure that you don't let any emotions take over. You just got to get back to playing your game exactly how it's been working. Losing a big pot like that shouldn't dictate a deviation from your strategy per se. And so you want to make sure not to be tilting away the rest of your tournament out of anger or frustration.
Yeah, no, it's and it's easy for that to very subtly slip into your game in ways that you don't realize.
That's right.
Initially. It's far too easy. I can say from experience.
Mars here thinking about it in the hijack with 8-7 off. Do you turn up the heat a bit now that you've got the chip lead, but decides against it?
You definitely could. Good thing he didn't. It looks like
indeed.
Jamie now waking up with 2 aces goes for the raise here.
And here's the Gus Hansen effect. When you open with the 8-5 and the next hand you get aces, and so people don't believe you.
Yep.
And potentially get the most for it.
I mean, it wouldn't be crazy in a final table scenario like this with so many short stacks behind that aren't going to jam on you super light. It's not crazy to actually limp aces here and try and let the big blind catch up and maybe catch a pair so that they can comfortably get their stack in, and you have a very, very disguised nutted hand on the vast majority of runouts. So actually kind of surprised to see such a large raise there. It's usually a limp or what just happened? I think that is a misdeal.
As they get the dealing squared away, Texas Card House will be putting on a poker cruise, a real cruise through Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines next year, March 20th through the 27th, out of Galveston. Liberty of the Seas and Texas Card House is bringing the whole poker staff to do a week-long, fully operational poker room on ship. If you want more info on the cruise and everything that will be provided, go to texascardhouse.com. Prices start at $800 a person for a 7-night trip on the seas, full of more poker than you could ever want. So get all the info at texascardhouse.com. That's March 20th through the 27th.
Oh, wow.
Mars here with his own set of pointy boys.
He gets aces immediately after Jamie, and you love it when you get aces with the big stack. Oh, makes it absolutely gigantic. Gigantic raise, 3x here, 150K. I still kind of go for either the min click whenever stacks are this shallow in this spot, or even a limp and allow the short stacks to jam over you. That way you can get the absolute max for your aces. However, he does, in fact, just take down the blinds. Nick from Yuma in the chat says, "What's up, Ben and Greg?" Nick, you're late.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man?
Nick? How chilly is Yuma, Arizona right now?
Oh, yeah. Probably not very.
It is not in Dallas, that is for sure.
Oh, my gosh. It's been so hot all day.
I
all
haven't
week.
even considered going outside.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like a pizza oven outside. It's insane.
Yeah, it's not even just hot, it's humid, and the air feels like it sticks to your throat as you breathe, and it's just awful.
That's right.
Everything
Tony M
about
asks, are y'all going to be running any tourneys on the cruise? Yeah, we are. There is a schedule of all the events at texascardhouse.com you can check out.
Sports cards here on the button, waking up with the hooks. Got a
jam.
Got a jam. Nothing else you can do here. Definitely not a position to limp. See a flop. Mauricio here in the big blind. Ace-9 offsuit. And when you're this deep stacked and sports cards is this short, this is not a crazy call by any means. You could get it in well ahead a lot of the time here. And even when you don't, you likely still have outs like he does in this exact scenario. So we are seeing 5 cards going to a run out. Classic race here.
Texas Sports Cards Tournament Life. Ace
wow.
and a jack on the flop.
Jack on the flop. Running. Oh, man. Drawing to stone dead now.
Wow.
What a run out. Jack's staying ahead in spectacular fashion.
Texas
going to
Sport Cards. Full double up there on the button.
Full double up with the hooks. You love it. You feel like that oftentimes that is not the case with the jiggities, but it happens.
The jiggities actually worked out short-handed. You see the ace flop, and I was very distracted with that. But
no, that's jack, man.
the almost case jack there.
Yeah, pretty much.
A lot of sets for this final table, which is rare.
Yeah, we've seen 4 of them already. So
Adam's really dealing out some heat.
Sure is. JT in 1968. Do you have any idea the prize pools for the Tuesday bounty tourney and the Thursday tourney? Not as much the Thursday tourney, but the Tuesday, usually the prize pool's usually a little bit smaller. I can't really give you exact numbers, but that's because they're taking away so much money for the bounties. I think it's roughly like a third of the buy-in is just pure bounties. So the actual prize pool itself is not all that large. Nardi here going to jam ace-6 clubs in the hijack. Perfectly reasonable. You got to get it in sometime, and a suited ace is good enough for it. Jamie T, middling stack. I don't think ace-6 offsuit is quite strong enough to call in this instance, and he does, in fact, let it go.
Well, I mean, I guess not knowing the cards, that's probably a good fold. Technically, he had the same hand, but
yeah, no, that's definitely a good fold. Once you start getting below ace-10 and ace-9, it's pretty rare that your ace-x is going to be good a lot unless your opponent's jamming something like king, queen, jack, queen, jack, etc. And even then, you're still not ahead by that much. Given that Nardi's so short, it wouldn't be like the most insane call I've ever seen at a final table by any means, because Nardi could still be looking to get it in short with any like suited Broadway card like king 7 suited, etc. That you can still be well ahead of. And he continues the aggression continues the jam. I really love when people recognize the position they're in a tournament and stick it in, getting as good as they think they can for the moment. You're going to take down the blinds.
2 walks here for Nardi, 330K behind.
Yeah,
Don't
there
call
was
it a comeback.
Yeah, don't call it a comeback. There was one tournament I played in, one of the big ones here recently, where I was very short. I only had like 8 big blinds, and I think I shoved probably like 7 or 8 hands in a row. And at first I was complaining because the first 2 hands I shoved were like queens and jacks. And I was like, come on, I can't get any action. I mean, I'm a short stack. Come on, guys. And then I took down the blinds like 7 hands in a row. And I was like, was I complaining before? I don't
Yeah.
think I'm complaining anymore when I'm now sitting 25 big blinds deep. So
Nice.
yeah, no, it's the aggression will get it done sometimes.
But it almost feels ridiculous when you shove more than like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
You think to yourself like, all right, I know
This
they know
time.
that I can't have it this many times in a row.
Right. And then sometimes you just do.
Yeah. So Mark M considering something here with the 8-4 off. Raises it to 70. Now Nardi in a weird spot here.
Yeah, and the big blind 10-7 offsuit. I mean, you're facing what is essentially a min click from Mark. Not a crazy defend, but I think the majority of the time you can probably let the 10-7 go. And
Flops open-ended.
He is. Oh, does he? Oh, you're right. He does. And he does have an open ender here. However, it is a monotone board. Mark's got the pretty big range advantage here. Nardi does not have a diamond in his hand, but he does elect to ship it. He elects to ship it.
He
and
said,
Mark,
let's gamble.
Mark is not loving this at all with nothing but a pair of 8s. Still ahead at the moment. Wondering how many kings Nardi's going to wake up with. Could be on a diamond draw. Getting a count.
Is this any louder in your headphones?
Yeah, a little bit. You sound a little clear.
Trying to turn up my gain a bit so I can compete with your voice.
No, I like it. I'm sitting pretty close to the mic too.
All right, so Mark M really considering it here with second pair, monotone board, king high flop, and Nardi here with open-ended straight draw.
Yeah, and the equities are pretty close at this point. Nardi's behind, but not by all that much. And they could still run out diamond to a chop potentially.
I keep saying second pair. He's got bottom pair. Mark M has bottom pair.
Oh, you know what? See, it's fine. I didn't even correct you because I thought the same thing.
But what do you beat? You beat exactly ace high.
So you beat ace high with a diamond draw, and even then it still has so much equity against you and so many pair outs against you that it's like, how good are you really? Whenever you call there, you're not a favorite by that much.
So Nardi continuing to rally here, almost 500,000 chips with little to no pushback. But he's going to have to continue doing that.
Yeah, no kidding. You can't slow down even for a second. You got to ride the momentum wave. Don't get crazy. Don't get out of line. But definitely can't start playing scared once you have a little bit of chips.
So we're on to the next one. Hand number 29. 15K, 30K. So blinds are up. 30K big blind ante. Bunch of rags for everybody. Jamie T in the cutoff. Going to continue with the aggression here to 80K. Nardi looking like he's thinking about rejamming.
He is not even slowing down for a second. I love it. Jamie T getting kind of wild here in the cutoff 6-4 offsuits, opening it up. I think it'd be okay.
Take it down again.
Gonna take it down again. Shows the 9. I love that he shows the 9. That's awesome. He says, I've shoved 4 hands in a row now. I can't have it all the time, guys. So here's a 9 for you. I love the show there. That was a very classy show.
So Nardi, I'm impressed. He's had exactly the right couple situations where he's had some uncontested walks and had everything happen. You know, everything that needed to happen, other than getting a full double up, has happened,
Yeah,
and he's still in it.
he's still in it. That's the important part. Chip in a chair, ladies and gents. Nardi now with a premium.
So this is a Greg Potter situation here.
Oh,
Five
man.
hands in a row, he's going to shove.
Let's go.
And Jamie
Chip
T
it
is the type
in.
of person that he might actually call here.
Yeah, this wouldn't even be the most insane call after they've seen Nardi shove 6 hands in a row as a shorter stack. It is unfortunate. Ace 10 suited not going to hold up a lot of the time. At best, you're flipping with a medium pocket pair. Still behind. But yeah, this is pretty unfortunate. Now you're playing for your entire tournament life for the most part. Nardi has got a very playable stack at this point. So, oh man, he's got the chips in hand.
800,000 in this pot already. This would be a huge pot for Nardi to win if he gets called.
Yeah, this would change the entire dynamic of the game. Good fold there with the ace 10. Shows it, says, all right. I didn't have it last time, but I got it this time, boys.
Taking a look at those payouts again, 15,000 for first, 9,000 for second. And everybody right now is guaranteed $2,845. Not too shabby.
Not at all.
Jeffrey Rodriguez, if you go on Texas Card House and then click Dallas, and then there's a cruise banner at the top of the website, you can see all the info about tickets. So Jamie T, you don't want to, you don't want to spew in this very position.
Yeah,
Nardi ace king again,
my God,
bro.
He wakes up with it again.
He's got to be smiling under that mask. Like, well, I gotta
ship it again.
You got
man.
to.
This is awesome. I love this so much. Nardi's got
a run of cards.
Seriously, Nardi's got a stack now where it's like you could probably play a little bit post flop, but man, when you're riding a wave like this, people might start calling you light. He shows it again. Shows, come on, guys, come on, you gotta call me sometime.
And everybody knows, like, all right, well, this guy is at the top of the variance charts for now, so we just gotta wait that out. So now Nardi needs to be very careful about. I mean, eventually this is going to stop, and he needs to be careful to adjust and not feel invincible.
Yeah, no kidding. Whenever you've shoved that many times in a row, you start to get that a bit of a invincible type syndrome where it's like, how can I lose? I've won every hand for the past orbit.
Right.
So
this clearly is my tournament now.
Yep, exactly. And sports cards are going to shove it in pretty standardly here with the ace 9 suited in the cutoff. Folds all the way around. Going to pick up the blinds, not the worst. Results shows the ace, of course. What else would I be? Pretty much
everybody's
been
showing their cards.
Yeah, no,
they've agreed.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like everybody got to show one. All right, guys. Like, let's not be stingy here. Yeah, this is a friendly game.
This isn't that serious. We're only playing for $15,000.
Yeah, it's a friendly game for 15 G's. All right.
Yeah, that's
totally
my definition
not
of a friendly game.
Totally not a ton of money for a lot of people, by any means.
It's a lot of sports cards there for Texas for sports cards.
Yeah, it sure is. Or one very expensive rare card.
That's right.
Because I don't know if you know, but some of those cards sell for quite a bit of money.
Oh, so, yeah. And especially during COVID, the industry blew up.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah. There was somebody here that played at the tables that I was talking to saying that was like a business that exploded. Like he did it as a side gig and it like basically got him through the pandemic.
Wow.
Which was awesome to hear, honestly. Ooh, Dave limping in with the 7s. I like the limp with the 7s in this spots with Nardi limping under the gun. Your stack's pretty deep, and you can still comfortably call off a lot of shoves here, but if you face a shove and then a call, you can very comfortably fold. So I don't think that's a bad play by any means with the 7s.
Jamie T picking the spot to punish the limpers, though, with the ace-jack off. I don't necessarily blame him here either. Dave, this would be a big call here with pocket 7s.
Yeah, but I think you're at worst. I think here you're flipping excuse me, no, you're probably dominated by some pairs, but a lot of the time you're going to be flipping. And we're seeing that happen in real time here with ace jack versus sevens. I think sevens is just strong enough to call here. And in fact, this is the best hand in the entire deck to call with, as I won my tournament with this hand. He does put in the call.
Wow.
With the exact same hand, suits and all, pocket sevens versus ace jack. Let's go to the runouts. Let's see if Dave can they can hold up for Dave like they did for me.
So everybody's rooting for Dave here to eliminate Jamie T, a pretty dangerous player. He's kind of put the pressure on early on.
His seven life, on the flop.
Wow. Flop. Wow.
Oh dude. My gosh. Drawing dead now, ace jack. That Jamie is T going to be a ladder up.
Drawing dead. Jamie T is going to be eliminated in 6th place, and he's going to take home $2,845 after coming to this final table as the chip leader.
Yeah, he was coming in hot.
And that's tournament poker.
That is what it is. It only takes 2 or 3 hands for your entire day to be soiled.
That's wild.
For the most
Jamie
part.
T is going to take on $2,845. Everybody else now is guaranteed $3,560 US TCH dollars. We're down to 5. 193 started, and it's the final 5, and it's anyone's game. As you've seen, Nardi was literally down to, I don't know, 5 big blinds maybe.
Pennies.
And now he's one of the maybe top 3 stacks. I mean, there's 5 remaining, but
yeah, but no, that's a big difference. That is a big difference. He was one of the short stacks, and then comes all the way back
from the beginning. So like he's already gone from 9th place to 5th place. So I'm sure he's already happy with this margin that he's made that he didn't expect to win. And Texas Sports Card's going to immediately shove here under the gun, ace jack off.
Yep, nothing else to do there, I don't think. Pretty fine standard. Dave, this would be a pretty light call, I think. Ace 4 offsuit. Suited, maybe a little closer, but even then.
For a 30-year stack with a couple players behind you.
Yeah, it's not worth it by any means. Your ace is going to be dominated far too often. Nardi here, very natural fold. King 8s in the big blind. And Sports Cards going to show the ace one more time. Says, come on, guys. Let's go one more time.
Cop House Snow says Mars playing his best game, patience and poised. Yeah, pretty patient guy. I don't think he's waiting for his time. He got that miracle with the turn set of 8s. Jamie had a couple bad beats there.
He sure did. Yeah, set over set. That's about as bad as it gets for the most parts. So nothing really to do there. And then some unfortunate runouts. He did maybe start to leak a little bit with some lighter opens, but you don't blame him for trying to take down the blinds.
Right.
Though I think maybe he could have. I mean, inevitably, obviously, as we saw the hands play out, he would have lost it all regardless. But I think whenever your stack starts to dwindle and you become a middling stack, you need to stop opening up quite as light. You kind of have to go into stack preservation mode, and that is not always the way to do so. King 10 under the gun opens up for Dave. Not the craziest open here. In what is essentially middle position in a normal 9 full ring table. Nardi very deep stacked here. Queen 9 suited in the small blind.
You can either fold or jam.
Yeah, pretty much. I think so. Flatting in the small blind there is definitely the worst option by far. What are we seeing happen? We got our tournament director, Travis, the man, the myth, and the legend.
Maybe coloring up some of those 5Ks. Is that what's happening?
That is the only thing I can imagine he's doing is coloring up.
But
there's no more tables to redraw to, so
right. Interesting though, because they're going to be at 20K, 40K, right? Or are they going to go straight to 2550?
I believe they're at 2040 now.
Right. So I don't know why they're. Whatever.
I think they're just getting ready for a color up, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like for when the blinds go up again. I don't know. I'm not Travis. I don't know.
20, 40, 40, hand 36, 5 remaining. Almost $60,000 in this prize pool. They've been playing since 11 a.m. today.
Yeah, and the line was out, literally out the door.
Was it really?
Yeah, at about 10:45 for people getting into this tournament. We had a line that snaked through all the tables on the floor, leading up to the cage for everyone to register.
Wow.
It was a bit of a madhouse whenever the place got going here just before the tournament started. Mars under the gun, ace-9 offsuits, raising it up. Not unreasonable. I think maybe sometimes you can let the ace-9 go. But in this case, it's going to work out for him, and he's going to take down the blinds.
Nice steal there. Almost 400 watching this final table. Tournament poker. If you like tournament poker, hit that like button for us. There's 50 likes so far. We can totally improve that. We always do, and it's because of your efforts. So hit that like button for us if you're enjoying the final table stream tonight. Shout out to Adam, a very quick dealer. He's been, you always appreciate when you have a really fast dealer, especially when you're short stacking a tournament.
Yeah, I was about to say, especially in a tournament scenario when you are just desperately trying to see as many hands as possible before the blinds catch up with you. That's where the fast dealers really get their appreciation.
Absolutely. I imagine Texas Sports Cards is going to be shoving a lot of hands here.
Yeah, he is the short stack. He's going to be getting it in awfully light. A lot of Broadway cards. Jack 6, I don't think was quite strong enough. I mean, maybe in this exact instance, if he did shove over the blinds, he would have taken them down. But you can't always bank on that. You may as well wait for better spots down the line. You can now see another 3 free hands. So
Mars folded pocket 3s there, blind versus blind, with Dave raising into him. I wonder if he's just deciding to stay away from the other big stacks that can cripple him.
I was going to say pocket 3s defending wouldn't I think that deuces 3s and even pocket 4s sometimes don't hold up that often unless you're like heads up the last 2 at the table. Otherwise, I think and especially like you said with it being the 2 larger stacks, I think it's fine to let them go when there's still a lot of post flop play and you're not going to get to see all 5 cards.
Sure.
So
I think a lot of people in that spot just see a pair heads up and just want to go with it. But that's I like your analysis better, where it's like let me just avoid this situation and let these other smaller stacks eliminate before I start getting fancy with these tiny pairs.
Yeah, you may as well just go for the ladder up, go for the money jump in that spot.
That's right, because the difference is $1,300 between 5th and 4th.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's a big jump. We're starting. This is right when the exponential curve starts to really ramp up a little bit in terms of the payouts. So it's not really an exponential curve, but the payout curve really starts to steepen at this point. And every spot, every elimination matters to the point where you're playing for thousands and thousands more dollars. So every decision point matters, and I think pocket 3s just aren't quite strong enough to hold up given this pressure.
That's right. So it's going to be on Mars with ace queen on the button.
Ace queen. Open it up here.
He's happy to get it all in, I think, with any of these 3 players.
Oh, absolutely. There's no reason to fold to any jam from really any stack unless it, like, say, one of the other larger stacks 3-bet, he 4-bet, and then they jam. Yeah, you could probably let it go, but definitely comfortable getting it in against the short stacks here a lot of the time.
Nardi really thinking about it.
He's going to make the call here with the 7-6 offsuits. I think if you were deeper stacked, this would be okay facing a button to open. Your hand does still have plenty of playability post. However, whenever you do miss this hard, you have now covered yourself that much more. And you also have to play this out of position, which is rather unfortunate. So
Mars here, 2 overs, a Broadway draw and a spade draw. Nardi here is going to donk into him.
He is straight, like 0 equity bluff here, and Mars ships it. He says, bro, let's play for it.
Without even thinking about it, bro.
Play for it. I have a backdoor straight flush draw, Broadway draw, inside straight draw, or inside flush draw. So it's like, what else? I really like the jam here by Mars. It's like wake up with it or fold, my guy. Nardi getting a little out of line there on the end.
Trying to switch it up. I like the creativity, but it's just really an optimistic spot versus the chip leader.
Yeah, it's rare that you as a short stack, you really almost never want to donk into the pre-flop aggressor. You want to give them, whenever you do have a nutted hand, you want to give them all the opportunity to make a mistake.
That's
And
right.
whenever you're sitting short stacked, you don't have any fold equity. You have none,
Yeah.
for the most part. So especially when you're facing the biggest stack at the table, it's like fold equity does not exist for you, unfortunately. So I like, as I said, I like, or as you said, I like the creativity, but I don't think that was the spot to go for it.
Looks like they're discussing something. Or Texas Sport Card is trying to do a deal here. He's got
Trying to
not
get a
many blinds.
chop going. Trying to get a chop.
I've been there before.
Oh yeah.
You know, like hanging on by a thread and trying to get everybody's like, look, guys, what if we got a chop here and I got third
What
place
if we
money?
chop? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I didn't get fifth place money and I got a little more. Give me 500
And everyone looks
more.
at your stack and like, well, bro, it seems like we're pretty guaranteed to at least get fourth place money. With how I'm assuming they're watching the stream behind them. Jedi Master Ted says, what's up, Greg and Ben? What's up, Jedi Master Ted? We're doing the same thing we always do. Commentating for TCH Live for you people. Hope you're having a good evening down there in Austin. I think you're in Austin. Thanks for saying what's up. You know, it'll be great once we do finally get the table mics to hear the salesmanship going on about the chops. You know, guys like Dave and Mars aren't really interested in chopping 5 ways when they're running so good, and see how small some of these stacks are. Mars here, another playable hand, pocket 9s in the cutoff. Nardi here, definitely a shove candidate here, King Jack suited.
I would say it's almost mandatory, given that you are this short. And he does go for it here. King Jack suited. Mars, very natural call here. Typically a snap call, admittedly. He's just he is slow rolling both us and the players, maybe with some deliberate thought in terms of really wondering just how good you don't blame him here. It's not like he has aces or anything, but most of the time this is going to be a pretty natural call with pocket 9s. We're going to a classic race here.
1 million chip pot.
Yeah, pretty big pot here. I think if Nardi is going to be a pretty deciding pot, whether it's going to double up Nardi, keep him in the game, give him a very playable stack, cripple the big stack, or going to put the big stack in that much more of a lead here. So this is actually a pretty interesting turning point in the tournament final table.
That's right. Yeah, if Mars wins this, he's going to have Jack.
Oh, man, Nardi
Jack
picks
in
up
the door.
the Jack immediately. No wait, no hesitation. 5 on the turn, no help. To the 9s, no backdoor equity. Drawing to a 9 does not come.
He's on the river. So Nardi, huge double up here.
Huge double up. Very important double up. This is going to give him that much more playability. Might slow down Mars there and levels the playing field just that much more.
I hope he's savoring this run of cards because he has had quite the final table's worth of cards. More so than maybe even like people have an entire day. You know, the past like 10 hands or so, he's played most of them. And he surpassed the 1 million chip mark there with that pot. And so Mars taking a hit. He's still got 1.8 million behind. It's just spread out a bit over the table. So Mark M and sports cards here kind of feeling the pressure, needing to make something happen to stay in this. So it's going to be on Mars once again. He said he's got almost 2 million still in chips. Queens. Pocket queens here for Mars under the gun. Another big pair, and it's not going to stop him.
To run good. Taking a hit on the chin does not slow him down for a second. 2 ladies under the gun makes a pretty large race size here. Pretty gigantic, actually.
Great way to recover from a big beat like that.
Yeah, definitely try and pump up the pots. With these pocket pairs, though, it's not crazy to try and get as much value from them as you can. You don't necessarily want to just take down the blinds when you have hands that are as nutted as aces or queens. You really want people to get in there with their stacks, maybe see a flop, spike a pair, spike a draw, something to where you can then apply pressure post-flop and get more value for your hand.
Luis is amazing, says Jacob got this. Is somebody named Jacob? on the table. Isaiah Thomas says, good job, Nardi. Yep. Nardi making it happen. It's a Nardi party here at TCH Live Saturday night. Head over to Mark M with the double down hand, and that's not going to do it by any means. Dead man's hand for Nardi in the cutoff. He's got $1 million behind. Might choose to start playing a few hands now, raising instead of just jamming, but he also has Texas Sport Card on the left of him who's jamming or folding. And Mars is going to get a walk, king, queen suited. Jeez. Mars also had a pretty nice run of hole cards. Let's see what. Michael Tilton says Nardi, the new TCH star. Hey, that's a quite the title. TCH Live is known to make superstars out there in the poker world.
Jared Farber says, Greg, bring back the beard. What? You guys don't like seeing my shiny white face glinting in the sunlight?
For the love of God, please bring the beard back. Please hide your face.
I'm starting to get that vibe from everybody. They're like, we don't like this. It's scary and weird without a beard. So maybe I just let it grow out and I call this a fun experiment.
Yeah. Hand 43, we're playing 20, 40, 40. 4 players away from a $15,000 payday for one of these gentlemen. Mars here, blind versus blind. Almost 2 million chips. He's got ace 3 off. He's just going to limp. Mark M, who has been quiet so far, he has had 0 cards to play the past hour, really.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see a raise there with ace 3. Your hand is definitely strong enough to come in for a raise there. And if you take it down the blinds, you're happy with that. And if they flat call your raise, you don't hate it either, as they could do that with a lot of hands that you dominate. You maintain the betting lead, and you can take it down with representing range post flop, and you get just that much more value for your bluff. So I'm surprised to see just a limp there.
So Mars min bet the flop and got Mark to get out of the way. Makes sense.
D1 Keys in the chat. Could you guys do 24-hour streams that show reruns when y'all aren't live like PokerStars does? I mean, I don't think we're going to have something that is constantly rolling old footage, but we have all of it in the archive. So like we're not going to have like a click on this and it's 24/7, old footage of TCH Live, but we have every video,
like every 4-hour stream.
Yeah. Every 4-hour stream, every tournament, everything. So you can, honestly, you could probably just go to TCH's homepage and just roll the
create a playlist.
The playlist on there, and YouTube will do it for you. So we don't really need a function like that because YouTube kind of covers that for us. So be happy to go through the archive and see some of the old content, man. Give it a like and subscribe to us as well. Thanks for being so interested in all of our TCH content.
9-3-5, 2 hearts. Nothing for anyone. But Mark M, he's going to turn it up some, betting 50K into Nardi. But Nardi just has nothing. A backdoor straight draw, really.
Yeah, that's about it. And nothing but queen high. Ooh, JTN, $10 super chat. Looking forward to running this deep Tuesday and Thursday. Will we be in the booth and or in the box either night? Also looking forward to bugging you two in person. LOL, of course.
Tuesday night for sure.
Yeah, Tuesday we will be in the booth. I will not be in the box. I will be on the box on Thursday next week. I work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as a dealer. So those are the days that I'm here, but we will absolutely be in the booth. I didn't get to meet you last time you came through JTN, so be happy to do just that. Put a face to the name.
I'll be very surprised because I have no context for what JTN looks like.
I know it's like it's weird, right? It's it's not like you're meeting someone you met on Facebook. It's like just a name in a chat
literally
room,
a name.
so.
Like this person could be anything or anybody.
Anything. I love that. Anything or anybody at all.
Very fun aspect to our job.
Yep. Pocket nines here for Dave under the gun. Very natural open here. Given that the stacks are getting a little deeper, I don't mind the larger raise sizes. However, he's going to just get a walk there with the nines. Not the worst outcome. You definitely don't want to get called and see a flop of ace king 10. So
that's right.
Not the worst result by any means.
So it's going a little bet fold now. Since you're short-handed, it's harder for two players to have playable hands. Oftentimes it's going to go raise fold. But the momentum goes in waves here. So we're maybe reaching a dip, but we're on the way back up, especially once blinds go up. JTN says he's bringing milk and cookies. I will take that.
Yeah,
1,000%.
I am happy to
I don't
engage.
Need it,
no, I don't either. In fact, I'm trying to eat healthier, but I think I can make an exception for milk and cookies by all means, especially when given to us by a fan in the chat. So
that's right. Mark M, continuing some aggression, queen 10 off. And this is a good spot for him. Everybody's got just trash.
Nada, just nothing to call with. Yeah, when you're in later position, you can really start opening up some hands. And if people have nothing, you just take down the blinds. If they have something middling, you still get to see a flop in position and play post. Or they jam on you, have a very easy natural fold. So it's you do sacrifice a little, but you gain a lot in the long run for something like that. So
Mark M with the repping it for the Dodgers. Pretty cool. I really like the LA hats. Jedi Master Ted says, 1968 is most likely his birth year, so you know he's around 50. That's some context. All right. Or it's the last four of his social.
Yeah, that'd be that wouldn't be great to be putting out on YouTube. Age is mental. I like it, JT.
And it's also a number.
Yeah.
Mark M raising an ace 10 off under the gun. 90K. Dave with a really nice hand. Ace jack off in the small blind. Weird spot, though, where you hate to just call here. But it looks like he's probably doing that.
Pretty awkward spot with ace jack offsuits. That's a really close spot. I'm not as familiar with tournament play as I am with cash, so I'm not really certain what is more optimal there, to just rip it, to 3-bet, to just flat and see a flop. Whenever you do flat and see a flop and you have to check to the in position aggressor, you kind of give them all the leverage in the world by doing so, and you can kind of just sacrifice those chips the majority of the time. So it's a pretty rough spot to be in. I think all options were available there: a 3-bet, a flat call, a jam, or a fold. It's just one of those spots that it's hard to know what to do with a hand like ace jack when you're in such an unfortunate position as the small blind.
King high board as the pre-flop raiser is usually a good time to c-bet there. Mark M does that and gets it through.
Matt Shepard says finished 15th, so tilting. Hey man, deep run. Made a deep run, and that's a cash. So it's definitely better than bubbling. Trust me, I'm not kidding. I have bubbled every single major tournament we have had here at TCH, either the stone bubble or like one away. So at least you got paid, bud.
Eduardo Torres watching the stream from home today in Plano. Shout out, peeps. Hey, shout out to the North Dallas crew. Rep it for Richardson, but also rep it for Plano. What's up, Eduardo? Pez, sup, chat pros. Sup, Pez. Just left TCH steaming. And we've all been there.
We've all been there, bud. Trust me.
But somehow everybody keeps coming back.
Well,
so sports cards here.
We love the pain.
That's right. Sports cards all in with ace 9 off. Mars thinking about it.
Yeah, he's got
suited.
He's got a big stack with a hand with a ton of equity and a good opportunity to knock out a short stack. But with a player behind, I don't fault the fold there at all. And actually, even facing a jam, queen 10 suited is probably not going to hold up too often. Maybe queen jack suited a little bit more of a consideration, but that extra gap really means a lot in terms of equity's sake. So Mark M really thinking this one over.
You know, Texas Sport Cards could be shoving pretty wide, but also he has been, it seems to have been selective with his hands. So A6 isn't ahead of a guy that's being selective, but he's ahead of a standard push fold range, I think, because if he's shoving all
Allowing
of
he
his king
does call.
highs.
Yeah, you're ahead of a large portion of it. I don't know if you're ahead of the majority of a shoving range
Okay,
there.
yeah.
I think it's very close.
Yeah, you don't feel comfy calling there, but I guess
No,
maybe he felt obligated.
sure.
I don't think he thought sports cards was stealing off in there, but A6 is
Yeah.
kind of
I
at the
mean,
bottom.
maybe. Oh wow, there we
6.
go. 6 on the flop. However, tons of equity for the 9
9.
on the turn. Just spikes it. The suck and the resuck.
And
So
5 is not gonna do
not
it. So
gonna
sports
help.
cards is gonna double up here. Another miracle turn card. He was dead to a 9 or a 7.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think as another like if A6 there was one of the larger stacks at the table, that call is more justifiable. But whenever you're another middling stack, the worst thing you can do is double up another middling stack
Yeah.
entirely. You diminish your own stack, you reduce yourself to a short stack, and then you give your opponent more playability. You're really kind of just looking to get it in as good as possible and let the big stacks do all of the eliminating so you can ladder up.
So sports cards there with renewed life. We'll see if I'm just assuming he was trying to talk about a deal earlier, but he very well could have not been. He could have been trying to sell sports cards. Who knows? But it is going to be on him under the gun with his newfound chips, 800,000. He's got 20 big blinds now, which is okay, but the blinds come very quickly when you're 5-handed.
Yeah, no kidding. Chris Anderson in the chat. Hey guys, thanks for the stream. You're welcome, sir. Was wondering if the tournament live stream was playing on delay in front of the players like in the cash games. No, we do not play the tournament stream behind the players in this instance. It's not the same as a cash game, and it's kind of odd. I think if you're playing a tournament for this amount of money for players like this, you don't want to be giving away strategy through something that is a long form version of poker like a tournament is. Cash games are, you see as many hands as you're willing to put money on the table, right? So and that can change a lot over time, but tournaments are rather dynamic in terms of blind structure and stuff. So I don't think having it on behind them is pertinent, really.
A very rare 3-handed flop here between Mark, Nardi, and Mars. And Mars here flops open-ended. Mark in with an inside straight draw. Nardi here, an overcard and backdoor hearts.
Yeah, Mars flopping pretty gigantic here. Nardi with the best of it obviously right now, but Queen High is not going to do it. And Mark M going to peel one.
2 overs and an inside straight draw.
Yep.
And
no dirty outs.
Yeah.
So, ooh, 10 on the turn.
Straight from Mars.
Oh, that actually, what did I just say? No dirty outs. Like
that's the dirtiest out of them all.
That is the dirtiest out of all of them. What am I saying? I've been here for 12 hours, people. Mars going to obviously continue to bet here, looking to get the max from
all
Mark.
in a call.
All in on a snap call. Shows the straight, ran perfect card on the turn.
So 3 outs here for Mark M to win with a jack high straight.
Yep. And does not come there on the river.
Deuce on the river. So Mars is going to eliminate Mark M, if I'm correct.
Yeah, most
and
definitely.
Mark M is going to be eliminated 5th place for $3,560. Mars has got a huge chip stack now, and everyone's guaranteed $4,855. We're down to 4 from 193 on Saturday night.
Yeah, and this is the danger of giving away some of your stack to another middling stack, is like it puts you at such risk, and you miss out on some ladder up situations like this one.
So congrats to these final 4. Mark M played his heart out and unfortunately couldn't get it done with the Jack 10. Had a ton of outs on the flop and then hit the potentially the worst. I mean, it was the worst card that he could turn there to keep him in it. And that made Mars' hand. And so everything's going Mars' way tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Also, Andrew McCullough in the chat. I totally hear you. I know it's a tick that I have. I need to work on it.
Dave here with ace deuce suited under the gun. You kind of got to open things up now that you're four-handed. Hand number 50.
This is an interesting spot. Nardi going to jam here with the King Jack suited. Once again, Texas Sports Cards, very playable hand, very callable hand, pocket nines in the big blind. I really don't think you can fold here. I mean, you're facing an under the gun open and a jam over top of it. Kind of a rough spot, but you got to go for it sometime, and it's not often you're going to get a hand as strong as pocket nines. This is actually pretty rough, though.
Whoa.
This is pretty rough with pocket nines.
Yeah. You've battled this entire final table, and you're facing Nardi, who's been running pretty well.
I've seen him show down ace, king.
Calling in the spot is kind of a middling, you don't feel great, but you also feel like it's too strong to fold a lot of the time.
Yeah,
and he's just going to reship here.
He does
call for less, actually.
Oh, here we go. And Dave here actually, I think, has the easiest snap fold ever. This is where two middling stacks get to duke it out, and you get a free ride to a ladder up, no matter which way it goes. This is about as ideal a situation as it gets. I think there's not much to do other than just fold here, especially with the deuce kicker. If you had ace king, maybe get it in, trying to chip up, but
I don't get this. I don't
get the tank here, but I think we're going to see him ultimately make the right decision.
Maybe he's a gambler. Maybe he's a gambler and wants to try to eliminate two players and just be done with it. That is also very
possible. We just had some kind of big commotion go out on the floor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something happened. I don't know what, but the entire room gave a big old O.
Interesting.
I'm very curious to see what happened.
Classic flip here for basically one of these players' tournament lives. You're right. This is a very ideal situation because unless it comes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's because then Nardi would win with a jack high straight.
Ooh, jack on the flop, nines getting just
queen on the turn here. So sports cards here, dead to 2 cards.
And the king on the end just for the extra needle, as if Nardi needed it. Man, Nardi,
wow,
from worst all the way up to the final 3.
So sports card, Texas Sports Cards eliminated in 4th place, $4,855. We're down to 3 and some real money, $6,712 for 3rd place, $15,393 for 1st. And 3 crushers that have been running pretty well. Nardi, Mars, and Dave. Dave hasn't been as involved, but it's any man's game. We started with 193, and it's the final 3. A lot of people rooting for Nardi in the chat. I mean, Nardi has definitely called it a comeback.
He
put his rally caps on, and it's been running hot.
That is for certain. He is chipping up and was at the very bottom of the stack sizes. Now right up there with the big boys.
Drew Hoffman says that Dave would have hit the nut flush if he called. That would have been so sick.
Oh, that would have been sick. I didn't even notice that. Yeah. Gotta love the hindsight of poker.
Yeah. Yeah. If I could just make one loose call, I can eliminate 2 players. Look at Nardi. Golly, dude.
Man, that guy's just waking up with everything right now. Good Lord.
Hey, that's when poker's fun.
Yeah, that is it's about as fun as it gets, running up from worst to first in a final table scenario. And I actually really like the jam here. Once you get down to the final 3, you really just want to see as many cards as you can post flop. All the stack sizes are pretty much the same roughly for the most part. So there's not going to be a ton of incentive for playing post flop and just handing each other 2 or 3 big blinds a piece every hand. you really want to start running it out, seeing as many cards as you can, putting as much pressure on, stealing the blinds with no resistance if possible. So
So it's a dead button since
I
Texas.
believe that is a dead button.
All right, so Texas Sport. So Nardi will actually get 2 chances being
Ultimate position.
ultimate position. Yes, that's the term I was looking for. Jack Deuce suited probably isn't going to do it. Under the gun and on the button. Dave here, pocket nines in the small blind. Limps. Never mind, he's all in. And Mars quickly folds the pocket threes. Interessante. So blind versus blind. Dave is going to get that one through with the pocket nines. We're three-handed. This could end any time now, or it could go for 6 more hours. We shall see. TCH Live Saturday night. We're here Saturday through Thursday night. Austin and Dallas bringing you live poker content Saturday night through Thursday night, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. The weekend streams are a little different because it's whenever the final table starts. But the cash games during the week, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. on this very channel. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit that notification bell. If you want to be reminded of all the free, amazing live poker content happening at TCH Live. And I imagine we're going to see a lot of raise folding here. Dave with half of what the other, I'm sorry, that's cumulative winnings, my bad. I'll be interested to see what the chip stacks are. I don't think Mars is the type of guy that would do a deal here. I know oftentimes guys start to get restless after playing for 11 straight hours. We shall see if they play it down all the way. 25, 50, 50, hand 54 here.
Yeah, often this goes for the chop when you get down to 3 people. They usually what they will do is chop, do an ICM chop for what they have right now, and then play for a remaining portion of it. That way, they can already lock up a little bit of money. Then the stack started flying in a little bit lighter.
I think he didn't realize it was on him. He was sitting there contemplating life.
Contemplating what he's going to do with all that money once he wins it.
Yeah.
That's what he's thinking about. In the best position to do so right now.
About to jump up stakes tonight, baby. So limp Dave here is all in with the king queen. Nardi's annoyed, but I don't see him calling it off with Jack 10.
there's no reason to call it here. I like Dave's shove for sure. Get it in while you're good with a very playable hand, or a very strong, equitable hand post. Just see all 5 cards. Don't get outplayed post flop when you whiff the first 3 cards, I like it.
Dave's going to take this one down. Look at those payouts. Second place pays $9,000, almost $10,000. That used to be the first place prize for this tournament only a few weeks ago.
Yeah, no kidding. It's crazy to see how the prize pool has just ballooned for this tournament.
It's a long day of poker, but very much worth the payoff. When you get busted out in 15th, like somebody said earlier, not the most fun feeling, but you have to play to win, and you can't win if you don't play. And as you can see, like this table, I don't think no one was that much better than anybody else at the table, really. Pretty even playing field from my perspective. Nobody's a real, like soul crusher, but also nobody is just a complete mark here in this game. So I think this is a good representation of the player field of the tournament. So it's anybody's game when you come play these tournaments at TCH.
Oh, I love the jam with King 10 off here. Let's just really start playing for it here in the blinds. Putting as much possible on. Picking up these blinds means a lot. Did we just see a call? No. We saw a limp limp raise. I think the graphics are incorrect.
Okay.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, I
What
was
is
like,
happening?
no way did he just call with 5-4 suited. Yeah, that would be an absolute punt. But I'm so glad to see that the graphics were incorrect in that sense.
Big pot though here. Top pair for Dave. Inside
Whiff.
straight draw for Mars.
Yeah, pretty much a whiff. Wrong color. Oh, and Dave just says, "Let's play for it all right now, sir." Top pair. I love the gem there. Honestly, it's whenever you've got a pair on the board like that, it's hard to make a pair in this game.
That's right.
You don't want anyone drawing out on you in a tournament setting like this. There's not much value to be had from gaining a few extra chips. You want to play for all of it or nothing in this scenario.
Don't want to get blown off of a hand like that needs some protection as well.
Exactly. That ace on the turn, and now you don't know where you're at.
That's right.
It's pretty rough spot to be in.
But also you puke when he snap calls you there with a set every once in a while.
Yeah, but that's just run bad. That's inevitability. I mean, if you check and then he jams, are you going to fold? You can't fold top pair. Good kicker,
right,
in this spot. So you're just kind of a victim to the cards at this point, unfortunately. Dave's still running good, though.
Dave putting together a little run here. Almost 2 million in chips on the button. He's won the past 3 or 4 hands in a row.
Does elect for an open here, just over a min click. Oh, and Mars here, pocket tens. I think we're going to see it go in.
4 million chips.
I think we're going to see it go in now.
Although Mars has not done much pre-flop 3-betting.
Yeah, and I really like just the min click. There's really not much incentive to do much other than begin to min click or jam in this point. It's like 3x. It's like those numbers start to mean a little less as you put too much pressure on hands you want calls from. Oh, here we go. Interesting flop. All in. Oh my gosh. Wow. Ships it over. In tens snap fold.
Snap fold.
I'm actually surprised we didn't see Mauricio take a stab at that pot, even with pocket tens.
Yeah. He had the lead pre-flop.
Though in hindsight, he saved himself some money, as I'm sure Dave would have just shipped it there anyways. Let's see all the cards, and let me put the pressure on you now.
So Dave has he might be the chip leader now that with taking that pot down.
Yeah, it's gonna be close for sure. It was a $300,000 pot, so.
Does it go to 50, 100 after this?
I believe so.
Okay, so that'll be pretty significant.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. What up? What up? Thanks for sticking with the stream Saturday night. Good times, tournament poker on the weekends.
Rocking 420. How's the poker, my guys? We hitting some ranges? We certainly are.
I think that's a needle.
I'll take that needle, man.
Ace 692 clubs. Nothing for anyone. Backdoor hearts here for Nardi. Jack on the turn pairs up Nardi with the check mark, actually. Goes check, check.
Yep, getting the check with the jack. Now he's going to go for some thin value here, which I love. I really love the bet here. Once you check through this many times, you got to go for some thin value. Dave just with queen high, not much to consider here. He does have a very relevant. Oh, I thought that 9 on the end was an 8. Excuse me. I was going to say he had a relevant blocker with the 7, but alas, he does not. So,
alas, indeed. So, Nardi technically with his earlier run, the most cumulative increase. But I think Dave is still the chip leader for our final 3. I wonder how they're feeling down there playing poker for 11 straight hours.
It's got to be exhausting.
It's got to be exhausting, but you find some renewed energy, I think, when you're facing a huge score. Like this close, you can taste it.
The adrenaline is pumping at this point, I'm sure.
All 3 of these players would love to take home the $15,000 prize. I mean, any of these prizes are great, but you're basically getting double between third and first. More than double.
Yep, the final payout jumps really matter the most. That's kind of obvious, but it is definitely worth stating. Still, someone guaranteed nearly $7,000 at this point. Not a bad day of poker. Not a bad day.
Absolutely. It's probably more than most people in the room are going to make today.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't think many 1-2 players are going to profit $7,000 today. Probably not many 2-5 players are going to profit $7,000
That's
today.
right.
Maybe some 5-10s if we have a 5-10 going right now.
From what I can tell, the card house has been popping all weekend,
Oh,
as per usual.
It's just about every day now, man. It's once it gets past 2 p.m., we're pretty much full.
I'm sure it's going to
almost
be
every
wild
day.
tomorrow too, with everybody gifting their dads one free day of being able to play poker.
Right.
Greg Pruitt, the buy-in for the tournament was $365.
365 unlimited re-entry, the same tournament that we have every Saturday starting at 11 a.m. 20K guarantee now, used to be 10K. We said that's not enough because we were blowing through that guarantee every single week. And in fact, we did so yet again. What is the prize pool? Roughly 57,000 this week.
It was 57,000. Yep. 57.9.
57.9. Pretty good size tournament for a reg weekly Saturday tournament. No worries, Mr. Pruitt. You're welcome. Mars on the button, 9-8 suited. I like the limp. This is one of the few instances. There's not, you don't gain much incentive by jamming here to put pressure and gain the blinds. This is a hand you do want to play post flop when you're all sitting with relatively equal stacks this deep.
So three-handed.
All
if anybody
three.
hits, everybody hits.
Yeah. Oh, 9 there. 9-8 sees one of those pair cards. Everybody else pretty much just completely whiffing. Mars going to bet out his pair correctly. Unfortunately, no love to be had. Gonna just take it down right now. Sam Kate, how many places paid out? We usually pay out 10% of the field. So I believe there were 193 entrants. I believe 20 spots got paid.
PM, why did they change the Sunday tournament from 135 to 200? I have no idea.
Yeah, good question. I imagine it's the same exact reason that they pretty much pumped up the guarantees and the buy-ins on all of the tournaments. Not the buy-ins, excuse me. But I think they just had requests for larger. They just wanted the tournaments to be bigger. 135. I think we have a few other 135 buy-in tournaments early on in the weekdays. So Sunday, when everyone's here on the weekend, has a little more extra free time. They wanted to give a little bit bigger prize pool. Nardi Ace-10 suited here on the button. Very natural open.
Let's play a big one.
I would like to see a big one.
Let's play a big one or see a big bluff here. But how about a bet fold?
PM says I'm going to a casino on Monday. My guy, don't go to the casino. Come see us at TCH Live here in Dallas. I'm sure
you
the
can make
drive
it
is
up
much
north.
better.
It's less time in the car if you come to Texas.
It's so much less time, yeah. And rake poker versus hourly poker. I mean, there is no comparison. And the action here is just so much better. Stacks are deeper. Money stays on the table. It's better in just about every sense of the word.
Free Coke Zeros. Twix are $1. I mean, what really more could you ask for?
What more do you want? You can bring your own alcohol. You can bring your own alcohol. You can't do that in any casino that I'm aware of. Chris Myers, Stalky. I don't know what that is. What was the buy-in tonight and how many entries? There were 193 entries on the $365 buy-in tournament. Unlimited re-entry. I'm once again hearing plenty of commotion outside of this
happening.
quote unquote soundproof door. A lot going out there in the streets, the card streets. Curious to see what got everyone's heckles up and all the commotion going. Ooh, Mars waking up 2 ladies once again, picking up the ladies. Ladies. Going to open it up, which I think is the correct play. Dave going nowhere in the big blind, ace-7 offsuit. Perfectly reasonable hand to defend whenever you are 3-handed. Facing a button open. However, Mars is pretty nutted here. King on the flop.
Oh, there's an NBA game. There's a playoff game tonight. That's why people are freaking out.
Ah, I see. That would be why. That would be the obvious answer.
That makes sense.
Dave. I must have missed the action there. Either way, we're going to the turn.
Mars open pre, Dave called. Dave led here on a king high board, and Mars called.
Dave with nothing but ace high and a wheel draw. Queens going for more value here. Says you shouldn't have a king too often calling out of the blinds, sir. Want to deny equity from any ace X holdings that could be drawing.
Weird line, but
definitely a weird line.
Mars sniffed it out and made it happen. There are almost 1,000 people watching. Hopefully there will be 1,000 people liking.
Yeah, guys, there are 447 of you in the chat. We only have 88 likes. That is not enough. I want to see at least 135 before the end of the stream. I think I know you guys can make that happen. That is not a tall order by any means.
For sure.
And if you haven't done so already, while you're hitting the like button, hit subscribe. That way you can get notifications about all the high stakes poker action that we have here on Tuesday, Wednesday, and the tournament final table here on Saturday. You can get all of your poker fix. Nardi, ace queen offsuit on the button.
Big hand here for Nardi, ace queen off.
Going to just take her down right. Oh no, we did see a flat call from Marge in the big blind. I was about to say this is actually a pretty natural call in the big blind. Suited gapper here. Ooh, flops gigantic. Open-ended once again. Sam Kate said there's 1 like for every minute you've been streaming so far. I want 2 likes for every minute I've been streaming so far, sir. Oh, and Mars does pick up a pair on the turn after calling Nardi's bet on the flop. Nardi actually in a rough spot here, ace queen. Pretty natural release a lot of the time, but Mars, I think, is definitely capable of showing up with some bluffs to try and take it away. Knows that this board is probably better for him in the blinds more so than Nardi the majority of the time. Shows that he made a good laydown, shows the 9. A lot of shown cards here tonight.
Sorry, I got distracted. The that Milwaukee game actually was pretty, the ending was pretty crazy. My guy Drew Holiday shut Kevin Durant down for the win. So they're moving on. Shout out to the Bucks.
Yeah, go sports ball.
Go sports. Greg's big sports guy.
Big sports guy. The biggest.
Just hope everybody has a good time.
The bigliest.
The bigliest.
I will say basketball is probably the one sport that I can actually get into. I do normally watch a lot of the playoffs.
It's very entertaining at this stage. For sure.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of people like to gamble on them, so it's fun to hear of all the fortunes won and lost over
right.
over a basketball game, over one 3-pointer.
That's right. Chris Meyer says, I'm going to be in Dallas in 2 weeks. How do I get to play on the stream? Email dallas@texascardhouse.com, and you can get on the list.
Yeah, include your name and a little bit of poker background about yourself. Give us something to talk about so that we can superficially get to know you a little bit before you hop on camera. And you can get on the list for the Tuesday if you are a high stakes player, or the Wednesday if you are a medium stakes player. And you will be in touch, hopefully, soon. Cooper, the super producer, will reach out to you. Nardi picking up the gutter ball. Mars with the bottom end of a gutter ball. Going to take it down with a little bit of aggression. This is what is important here on the final table. Oftentimes, one bet will get it done, and you will see lots of return on those tiny, tiny investments. Charlie C says, give playoff hockey a shot. I used to watch some hockey. I watched a lot of lacrosse because I played lacrosse, and that is a fun sport to watch if you guys don't.
Lacrosse?
Yeah, lacrosse.
Yeah, I haven't done much watching. I've seen some of the highlight videos, like the hype videos, which is pretty cool.
Very fast-paced game. Very fun to watch college lacrosse. It's hockey on feet. And no ice. Mars, ace-jack suited, continuing to run over this table. Now a gigantic stack in front of him, nearly 3 million in chips. Starting in the small blind, lets her go. Dave in the big blind, however, is going to see a flop with a 9-6 suited. Yeah, guys, I do watch some playoff hockey. I like watching the Stars if they make it, but beyond that, not much. Ooh, Dave flopping
clubs here.
Club draw here. Going to make a pretty natural call, I think. Pairouts are still live, though you don't know that initially. 4 on the turn. Pretty bricky for the most part. Dave actually going to lead here, looks like. Wow, leads for a gigantic bet. 400,000. Says, Mars, you better wake up with a king or fold, my man. And Mars does, in fact, fold the ace-jack face up. Dave getting a correct read on the situation, says, let's play for it now. And if I spike my club, I want to get more and more of your stack.
And now we've transitioned to hockey talk in the chat.
It always devolves at some point.
Nardi looks like he's might be Nardi partied out a bit.
Just a little bit, man. I think the momentum has come to a bit of a screeching halt. He was riding the wave for a while, but eventually that wave is going to hit the sand.
And number 67. What do you do with 1 million chips?
I mean, this wouldn't be unreasonable to just ship it. And he does agree with me. Oh, Dave. Oh, my gosh. Dave, pocket 10, snap call. Nothing else to do there. And here we go. Here we go. Going to a race. Nardi way behind, drawing to exactly a jack or straight outs. Let's see what the flop brings our way. No
3,
help.
4, 9, nothing.
Turn. Gives him a gutter.
Equity.
Any jack, any eights. Nothing. 10's going to hold it up and take Nardi out of the game. Man, Nardi, you made an amazing comeback, my guy. You were one of the shortest stacks coming into the table. You love taking down third place. Not a bad run by any means. And now we are down to the final 2. Heads up.
Nardi is going to take home $6,712. He legitimately was one of the shortest stacks at the beginning of the final table and rallied in a way that only a few people can ever claim to have rallied, and got that top 3 finish for $6,700. That's a nice payout for his position at the beginning of the final table. So now we are heads up.
Yeah, he probably made $5,000 more than he was likely supposed to. So not a bad day by any means.
Not by, not from a skill perspective, but just like his stack size and you only have a couple plays when you're that short, and so inevitably you're going to bust out. But he did not, and he survived it. That was a pretty nice showing there from Nardi Party there.
Absolutely.
We're down one Nardi. That's right.
We are down one Nardi. That is for certain. Mars, Queen Jack offsuit.
So 2 big stacks here.
Ooh, a flat call. A jack on the flop would just end this tournament right now. Does not come.
Inside straight draw for Dave.
Or is going to just c-bet 100% here. Though I think this is one exact flop that you could probably check back and bank a queen on the turn.
And spades.
Dave now with a gutter ball. Double gutted, I think. No, just a gutter ball. I've been here 14 hours.
That's all right.
Max Van Underwald, thanks for excellent, entertaining coverage, gents. Glad you're getting something out of it, my friend. Appreciate all the love.
Thank you for the kind words. Thanks for watching. They're sitting very close to each other. That's the thing. It's like, because it's the RFID, you can't move. Do you know when your head's up, you want to like move across the table, spread out?
Yep, and I do believe these two players are now discussing an ICM chop for the remainder of the prize pool. I'm being told that this is the last hand of the night, I believe, for the 365 buy-in final table tournament here at TCH. Looks like they are, in fact, going to chop it up. Let's see here. I have the numbers right in front of me. Give me just a moment. Looks like they're doing an ICM chop. First place, taking down $12,590. Second place, Mr. Dave taking down $12,222. So these guys are going to chop up the remainder.
Almost even.
Almost even, these guys are. And thank you guys all for joining us here tonight, Saturday. We appreciate you spending your Saturday evening with us. I know there are plenty of other things you could be doing. We are happy to see you all